The Book of the Secrets of Enoch, Chapter 30. On the third day, I commanded the earth to make grow great and fruitful trees and hills, and seed to sow. And I planted paradise, and enclosed it, and placed as armed guardians flaming angels, and thus I created renewal. Then came evening, and came morning, the fourth day, Wednesday. On the fourth day, I commanded that there should be great lights on the heavenly circles. On the first uppermost circle, I placed the stars, Chrono, and on the second, Aphrodite, on the third, Ares, on the fifth, Zeus, on the sixth, Hermes, on the seventh, Lesser, the moon, and adorned it with the lesser stars. And on the lower I placed the sun for the illumination of day, and the moon and stars for the illumination of night. The sun that it should go according to each animal, 12. And I appointed the succession of the months and their names and lives, their thunderings and their hour markings, how they should succeed. Then evening came and morning came, the fifth day, Thursday. On the fifth day, I commanded the sea that it should bring forth fishes and feathered birds of many varieties, and all animals creeping over the earth, going forth over the earth on 4 legs, and soaring in the air, male sex and female, and every soul breathing the spirit of life. And there came evening, and there came morning, the sixth day, Friday. On the sixth day, I commanded my wisdom to create man from 7 consistencies. 1, his flesh from the earth. 2, his blood from the dew. 3, his eyes from the sun. 4, his bones from stone. 5, his intelligence from the swiftness of the Malaks and from cloud. 6, his veins and his hair from the grass of the earth. 7, his soul from my breath and from the wind. And I gave him 7 natures: to the flesh, hearing; the eyes for sight; to the soul, smell; the veins for touch; the blood for taste; the bones for endurance; to the intelligence, sweetness. I conceived a cunning saying to say, I created man from invisible and from visible nature. Of both are his death and life. An image. He knows speech like some created thing. small in greatness, and again great in smallness. And I placed him on earth. A second Malach, honorable, great and glorious, and I appointed him as ruler to rule on earth and to have my wisdom. And there was none like him of earth, of all my existing creatures. And I appointed him a name from the 4 component parts, from east, from west, from south, from north. And I appointed for him 4 special stars, and I called his name Adam, Adam, and showed him the 2 ways, the light and the darkness. And I told him, this is good, and that bad, that I should learn whether he has love towards me or hatred, that it be clear which in his race love me. For I have seen his nature, but he has not seen his own nature. Therefore, through not seeing, he will sin worse. And I said, after sin, what is there but death? And I put sleep into him, and he fell asleep. And I took from him a rib, and created him a wife, that death should come to him by his wife. And I took his last word, and called her name Mother, that is to say, Eve. Chapter 31. Adam has life on earth, and I created a garden in Eden in the east, that he should observe the testament and keep the command. I made the Shamayims open to him, that he should see the Malachs singing the song of victory and the gloomless light. And he was continually in paradise. And the devil understood that I wanted to create another world, because Adam was Lord on earth, to rule and control it. The devil is the evil Ruach of the lower places. As a fugitive, he made Satona from the Shamayims, as his name was Satanal. Thus he became different from the Malachs, but his nature did not change. His intelligence, as far as his understanding of righteous and sinful things. And he understood his condemnation and the sin which he had sinned before. Therefore, he conceived thought against Adam. In such form, he entered and seduced Eve, but did not touch Adam. But I cursed ignorance, but what I had blessed previously, those I did not curse. I cursed not man, nor the earth, nor other creatures, but man's evil fruit and his works. 32. Chapter 32. I said to him, Earth, thou art, and into the earth whence I took thee, thou shalt go, and I will not ruin thee, but send thee whence I took thee. Then I can again take thee at my second coming. And I blessed all my creatures, visible and invisible. And Adam was 5.5 hours in paradise. And I blessed the seventh day, which is the Shabbat, Sabbath, on which he rested from all his works. Chapter 33. And I appointed the 8th day also, that the 8th day should be the first created after my work, and that the first 7 revolve in the form of the 7th thousand, and that at the beginning of the 8,000 there should be a time of not counting, endless, with neither years, nor months, nor weeks, nor days, nor hours. And now, Enoch, all that I have told thee, all that thou hast understood, all that thou hast seen of heavenly things, all that thou hast seen on earth, and all that I have written in books by my great wisdom, all these things I have devised and created from the uppermost foundation to the lower, and to the end. And there is no counselor nor inheritor to my creations. I am self-eternal, not made with hands, and without change. My thought is my counselor, my wisdom, and my word are made. And my eyes observe all things, how they stand here and tremble with terror. If I turn away my face, then all things will be destroyed. And apply thy mind, Enoch, and know him who is speaking to thee, and take thou the books which thou thyself hast written. And I give thee Samuel and Raguel, who led thee up, and the books, and go down to earth, and tell thy sons all that I have told thee, and all that thou hast seen, from the lower Shamayim up to my throne, and all the troops. For I created all forces, and there is none that resisteth me, or that does not subject himself to me. For all subject themselves to my monarchy, and labor for my sole rule. Give them the books of the handwriting, and they will read them, and will know me for the Creator of all things, and will understand how there is no other Elohim but me. And let them distribute the books of thy handwriting, children to children, generation to generation, nations to nations. And I will give thee, Enoch, my intercessor, the archistrage, Michael, for the handwritings of thy fathers, Adam, Seth, Enos, Canaan, Mahalalel, and Jared, thy father. Chapter 34. They have rejected my commandments and my yoke. Worthless seed has come up, not fearing Elohim. And they would not bow down to me, but have begun to bow down to vain Elohims, and denied my unity, and have laden the whole earth with untruths, offenses, abominable lecheries, namely one with another, and all manner of other unclean wickedness, which are disgusting to relate. And therefore I will bring down a deluge upon the earth, and will destroy all men, and the whole earth will crumble together into great darkness. Chapter 35. Behold, from their seed shall arise another generation much afterwards, but of them many will be very insatiate. He who raises that generation shall reveal to them the books of thy handwriting of thy fathers, to them whom he must point out the guardianship of the world, to the faithful men and workers of my pleasure, who do not acknowledge my name in vain. And they shall tell another generation, and those others, having read, shall be glorified therefore, more than the first. Chapter 36. Now Enoch, I give thee the term of 30 days to spend in thy house, and tell thy sons and all thy household, that all may hear from my face what is told them by thee, that they may read and understand how there is no other Elohim but me, and that they may always keep my commandments, and begin to read and take in the books of thy handwriting. And after 30 days I shall send my Malach for thee, and he will take thee from earth, and from thy sons to me. Chapter 37. And Yahuwah called up one of the older Malachs, terrible and menacing, and placed him by me, in appearance white as snow, and his hands like ice, having the appearance of great frost. And he froze my face, because I could not endure the terror of Yahuwah, just as it is not possible to endure a stove's fire and the sun's heat, and the frost of the air. And Yahuwah said to me, Enoch, if thy face be not frozen, here, no man will be able to behold thy face. Chapter 38. And Yahuwah said to those men who first led me up, let Enoch go down onto earth with you, and await him till the determined day. And they placed me by night on my couch, and Methuselah, expecting my coming, keeping watch by day and by night at my couch, was filled with awe when he heard my coming. And I told him, let all my household come together, that I tell them everything. Chapter 39. O my children, my beloved ones, hear the admonition of your father, as much as is according to Yahuwah's will. I have been let come to you today and announce to you, not from my lips, but from Yahuwah's lips, all that is, and was, and all that is now, and all that will be till judgment day. For Yahuwah has let me come to you. You hear therefore the words of my lips, of a man made big for you. But I am one who has seen Yahuwah's face, like iron made to glow from fire. It sends forth sparks and burns. You look now upon my eyes, the eyes of a man, big with meaning for you. But I have seen Yahuwah's eyes, shining like the sun's rays and filling the eyes of man with awe. You see now, my children, the right hand of a man that helps you. But I have seen Yahuwah's right hand filling Shamayim as he helped me. You see the compass of my work like your own, but I have seen Yahuwah's limitless and perfect compass, which has no end. You hear the words of my lips, as I heard the words of Yahuwah, like great thunder, incessantly, with hurling of clouds. And now, my children, hear the discourses of the Father of the earth. How fearful and awful it is to come before the face of the ruler of the earth. How much more terrible and awful it is to come before the face of the ruler of Shamayim, the controller of quick and dead, and of the heavenly troops. Who can endure that endless pain? Chapter 40. And now, my children, I know all things, for this is from Yahuwah's lips, and this my eyes have seen from beginning to end. I know all things, and have written all things into books, the Shamayims, and their end, and their plenitude, and all the armies, and their marchings. I have measured and described the stars, the great countless multitude of them. What man has seen their revolutions and their entrances? For not even the Malats see their number, while I have written all their names. And I measured the sun's circle, and measured its rays, counted the hours. I wrote down too all things that go over the earth. I have written the things that are nourished, and all seeds sown and unsown, which the earth produces, and all plants, and every grass, and every flower, and their sweet smells, and their names, and the dwelling places of the clouds, and their composition, and their wings, and how they bear rain and raindrops. And I investigated all things, and wrote the road of the thunder and of the lightning. And they showed me the keys and their guardians, their rise, the way they go. It is let out in measure by a chain, lest by a heavy chain and violence it hurl down the angry clouds and destroy all things on earth. I wrote the treasure houses of the snow, and the storehouses of the cold, and the frosty airs, and I observed their season's keyholder. He fills the clouds with them, and does not exhaust the treasure houses. And I wrote the resting places of the winds, and observed and saw how their keyholders bear weighing scales and measures. First, they put them in one weighing scale, then in the other the weights, and let them out according to measure, cunningly, over the whole earth, lest by heavy breathing they make the earth to rock. And I measured out the whole earth, its mountains, and all hills, fields, trees, stones, rivers, all existing things. I wrote down the height from earth to the seventh Shamayim, and downwards to the very lowest hell, and the judgment place, and the very great, open, and weeping hell. And I saw how the prisoners are in pain, expecting the limitless judgment. And I wrote down all those being judged by the judge, and all their judgments, and all their works. Chapter 41. And I saw all forefathers from all time with Adam and Eva, and I sighed and broke into tears, and said of the ruin of their dishonor, Woe is me for my infirmity, and for that of my forefathers. And thought in my heart, and said, Blessed is the man who has not been born, or who has been born, and shall not sin before Yahuwah's face, that he come not into this place, nor bring the yoke of this place. Chapter 42. I saw the key holders and guards of the gates of hell, standing like great serpents, and their faces like extinguished lamps, and their eyes of fire, their sharp teeth. And I saw all Yahuwah's works, how they are right, while the works of man are some good and others bad, and in their works are known those who lie evilly. Chapter 43. I, my children, measured and wrote out every work and every measure and every righteous judgment, as 1 year is more honorable than another, so is one man more honorable than another. Some for great possessions, some for wisdom of heart, some for particular intellect, some for cunning, one for silence of lip, another for cleanliness, one for strength, another for comeliness, one for youth, another for sharp wit, one for shape of body, another for sensibility. Let it be heard everywhere, but there is none better than he who fears Elohim. He shall be more glorious in time to come. Chapter 44. Yahuwah with his hands, having created man in the likeness of his own face, Yahuwah made him small and great. Whoever reviles the ruler's face and abhors Yahuwah's face has despised Yahuwah's face, and he who vents anger on any man without injury, Yahuwah's great anger will cut him down. He who spits on the face of man reproachfully will be cut down at Yahuwah's great judgment. Blessed is the man who does not direct his heart with malice against any man, and helps the injured and condemned, and raises the broken down, and shall do charity to the needy, because on the day of the great judgment every weight, every measure, and every make weight will be as in the market. That is to say, they are hung on scales and stand in the market. And every one shall learn his own measure, and according to his measure shall take his reward. Chapter 45. Whoever hastens to make offering before Yahuwah's face, Yahuwah, for his part, will hasten that offering by granting of his work. But whoever increases his lamp before Yahuwah's face and make not true judgment, Yahuwah will not increase his treasure in the realm of the highest. When Yahuwah demands bread or candles or flesh or any other sacrifice, then that is nothing. But Elohim demands pure hearts, and with all that only tests the heart of man. Chapter 46. Hear, my people, and take in the words of my lips. If anyone bring any gifts to an earthly ruler, and have disloyal thoughts in his heart, and the ruler knows this, will he not be angry with him, and not refuse his gifts, and not give him over to judgment? Or if one man make himself appear good to another by deceit of tongue, but have evil in his heart, then will not the other understand the treachery of his heart, and himself be condemned, since his untruth was plain to all? And when Yahuwah shall send a great light, then there will be judgment for the just and unjust, and there no one shall escape notice. Chapter 47. And now, my children, lay thought on your hearts. Mark well the words of your Father, which are all come to you from Yahuwah's lips. Take these books of your Father's handwriting and read them, for the books are many, and in them you will learn all Yahuwah's works, all that has been from the beginning of creation, and will be till the end of time. And if you will observe my handwriting, you will not sin against Yahuwah, because there is no other except Yahuwah, neither in Shamayim, nor in earth, nor in the very lowest places, nor in the one foundation. Yahuwah has placed the foundations in the unknown, and has spread forth heavens, visible and invisible. He fixed the earth on the waters, and created countless treasures. And who has counted the water, and the foundation of the unfixed, or the dust of the earth, or the sand of the sea, or the drops of the rain, or the morning dew, or the wind's breathings? Who has filled earth and sea, and the indissoluble winter? I cut the stars out of fire, and decorated Shamayim, and put it in their midst. Chapter 48. That the sun go along the 7 heavenly circles, which are the appointment of 182 thrones, that it go down on a short day, and again 182, that it go down on a big day. And he has 2 thrones on which he rests, revolving hither and thither above the thrones of the months, from the 17th day of the month Sivian, it goes down to the month Thivan. From the 17th of Thivan, it goes up, and thus it goes close to the earth. Then the earth is glad and makes grow its fruit. And when it goes away, the earth is sad, and trees and all fruits have no florescence. All this he measured with good measurement of hours, and fixed a measure by his wisdom of the visible and the invisible. From the invisible he made all things visible, himself being invisible. Thus I make known to you, my children, and distribute the books to your children, into all your generations, and amongst the nations who shall have the sense to fear Elohim. Let them receive them, and may they come to love them more than any food or earthly sweets, and read them and apply themselves to them. And those who understand not Yahuwah, who fear not Elohim, who accept not, but reject, who do not receive them, a terrible judgment awaits these. Blessed is the man who shall bear their yoke, and shall drag them along, for he shall be released on the day of the great judgment. Chapter 49. I swear to you, my children, but I swear not by any oath, neither by Shamayim, nor by earth, nor by any other creature which Elohim created. Yahuwah said, there is no oath in me, nor injustice, but truth. If there is no truth in men, let them swear by the words, yea, yea, or else nay, nay. And I swear to you, yea, yea, that there has been no man in his mother's womb, but that already before, even to teach one, there is a place prepared for the repose of that soul, and a measure fixed, how much it is intended that a man be tried in this world. Yea, children, deceive not yourselves, for there has been previously prepared a place for every soul of man.
Just heat on the beat.